Yep, that's a lawnmower. Hey guys, it's Jason here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. So I am an RC guy. I do RC videos, reviews, running videos, tech, all that kind of fun stuff. Why am I doing a video? Why am I showing you guys now a video on my new lawnmower? The reason I'm doing that is for a couple of reasons. One, this is a brushless lawnmower. It's also a 56 volt lawnmower. I just picked this up today. It's the EGO. It's a self-propelled. It's a multi-cut, so it's got dual blades on it. Lawnmower. This thing is an absolute beast. It basically has, guys, the same torque as a previous Toro lawnmower I just had. I actually traded it in on this. Well, when I say traded it in, I got a couple of dollars towards this. But what I'm going to do, guys, in this video is keep it really simple and basically talk about the lawnmower, talk about the reason I bought it over a gas. All right, we're going to do first is talk about the battery. It is a 56 volt, 7.5 amp hour arc lithium battery. This thing, guys, is huge, as you can see, and it's got some pretty good weight to it. What's really neat about these is right on the top, you got it's kind of like a little teeny tiny button. You can hit that. It'll actually show you guys an indicator. It basically tells you if your battery's charged, how much, of your power you've used, all that kind of fun stuff. So that is definitely handy. It definitely makes it really easy when you get out to your shed or your garage and you go to grab your lawnmower, hit that button, see where you're at, see how much power you have left. Next, guys, I want to talk about something that isn't super exciting, but I still think it's kind of neat. This thing has 7 different height settings. And what's really neat about it is that you can do it all, guys, with one hand. So there's hardly any weight, no strength needed. You can maneuver it up and down however you want, and you're good to go. I like the fact that you don't have a bunch of separate little adjustments on each tire. That was always kind of a pain. This here is just basically, it's a one-touch kind of height adjustment for your actual bar itself. So that you just kind of can hold it. There's 3 different settings, or you can hold it and flip the bar completely right over for storage and all that kind of fun stuff. But what I want to do now is get to something a little bit more exciting. I want to get to the controls, the part that you're seeing when you're running this lawnmower. What you have here right now is the power, and that's kind of your speed. So you basically twist it to move the lawnmower up, bring it back to slow it down, or you can actually turn it all the way down and have it turn completely off. The bar that I'm showing you guys right now, so you have that power button and then that bar I just pulled, that is actually how you start the lawnmower, as you can hear. Release it, and the lawnmower turns off. What's neat is that even though the blades are not turning, you still have power over the lawnmower. So if you were to, for example, turn on the light turns on. The lawnmower has 6 LEDs on the front of it. I don't really know, guys, how powerful this will be at night, but let's face it, the fact that it is an electric lawnmower, you could go out very early in the morning, or if you went out later at night when it started to get dark, you could potentially run this lawnmower in the dark. Alright, guys, all I'm showing you here is that you do not need to have the blade spinning to move the lawnmower. Usually with lawnmowers, you start them up, you pull start them, they start to run, then you can engage it, the blades are spinning, and you can move the lawnmower along. With this Electric EGO, you do not have to do that. You just hit the buttons on the side, and the lawnmower moves along. Alright, guys, what I'm getting at here is I want to show you something that I thought was really neat. When I was actually at the store, I was checking the weight of the lawnmower. I wanted to see how much it weighed, see what it would be like to maneuver it. So what I've just done is I've removed the battery because, hey, let's face it, this is a big battery. It's a 56 volt battery. It's got some weight to it. But after you break down the handle, you put it down like this. Check this out. Guys, I am no Hulk, by the way. I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse t-shirt. I can pick this bad boy up. Don't get me wrong, it does have some weight to it, but you can pick this up. Actually, the older gentleman that sold it to me actually picked it up and put it into the back of my Ram with no problems at all. Alright, so again, I just flipped the lawnmower over. No worry about gas, oil, or any of that stuff. This guy's EGO that I have is the Select Cut multi-blade system. Obviously, you can see the 2 blades there. This comes with actually 2 additional blades, but the setup that I have is more for mulching. So I don't use the rear bag. I don't do any of that. I just run the lawnmower over, and with these 2 blades, it pretty much does a almost perfect job, guys, of cutting up the grass so fine, so small that you don't need to worry about the bag. What I want to do now is I'm going to get the battery back in the lawnmower, and I'm going to fire this thing up. I'm going to show you guys how it works, show you guys how the control work, all that kind of fun stuff, because really, if there's a fun part of cutting the lawn, it's, well, using the controls. All right, we're on our way to the front yard, and I'm going to talk, guys, about the lawnmower so far. So obviously I've only cut my backyard. It's fairly small. There's not a whole lot of room to really test it. But there's a few things I've noticed, and I want to touch on those right now. On a positive note, the lawnmower itself works perfect. The cutting, you know, from going when I was in, like, let's say a thinner, not as heavy grass, and then going into where it was a little bit thicker, you know, when you go into that thick grass, there's nothing. It's just as smooth can be. You don't notice any difference. And obviously you wouldn't. Unlike something like a gas-powered lawnmower where, you know, the engine will actually start to rev up because it's going into something a little bit thicker, the electric is not like that. The torque is just constant. There's no issue at all. So that is very, very neat. Also, the lawnmower, guys, is really light. I did notice a few times that you know, when I was kind of moving it around and stuff like that and maneuvering it, that I wouldn't even bother with the actual self-propelled part of it. Now, that brings me to one of, I don't know if I want to call it negative things, but it's definitely something that I've noticed over my last one. So my last lawnmower, like I've mentioned, guys, already a couple times, was a Toro. It was a self-propelled, and it was the one, if you guys are familiar with it, basically you have like a bar that you push. And as you push the bar further, the lawnmower goes even faster. It was very smooth, and you almost didn't even realize that you were using the self-propelled part, even though obviously it moved along. But what I mean, it was just very smooth. This, when you engage it, you do find that there's like a small delay there. So I find even right now, guys, as I'm walking along, especially when I start up here, I actually kind of will start walking first and then engage it, and you almost don't even need to, but you know, you get it obviously, guys, it's a little bit easier to push when you have the self-propelled going. But that's the only, I would say, guys, drawback right now is that when you hit that button to propel it, there's kind of like a very kind of a small delay, which is funny because you would think as an electric there'd be like this instant torque and it would just get going, but there's not. There's kind of like a little bit of a delay there. You sort of have to wait, you know, for that to kind of get going. All right, something, guys, I also want to talk about, if you have not noticed yet, I'm kind of doing the audio after I've done all the footage. The reason is I was outside this morning. I had started talking like I normally would do a video, and unfortunately there just ended up being noise from the neighbors. The wind got crazy, and when I started watching back some of the video, it was horrible. The audio was horrible, so I was like, okay, I'm going to have to do it this way. So basically I've got like a headset set up right now. I'm sitting in my basement and I'm talking to you while I'm cutting the lawn. It's not ideal. I actually will never do this again. This is a horrible way to do a video. I find I'm just sporadically jumping to things, but what I do, guys, just want to do now is give you guys my opinion based on obviously a very small run. I really like this so far. I feel I will get used to the whole self-propelled thing. Again, it's not a huge ordeal. The lawnmower is really light. But the biggest thing, guys, for me, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the video that I was going to tell you guys why I chose this over a gas, is just the fact, guys, that it's so easy to use. There is no worrying about going to get gas. There's no worrying about coming outside and being like, oh, geez, the last time I ran this thing, I forgot to get gas. There's none of that. Yes, you have to worry about batteries. We are RC guys. We are RC peeps. We know all about recharging and charging batteries. So that's not a big deal at all. And you know what, guys, the other thing is this thing has all the torque, all the power of a gas-powered lawnmower. And I think it's funny that so many people are, you know, they're kind of like, ooh, do I really want to go to an electric lawnmower? It's got more torque. It actually has, guys, more power than most gas lawnmowers. And let's face it, if you've been following any automotive news, you've seen how Tesla has just been crushing it. The electric power, the brushless power is just, it's what it is, guys, and it's where it's at. So you know what, for a few years, you know, if you go back a couple of years, I really did not think I would ever want to buy myself an electric lawnmower. Now I've owned one, and I don't know, guys, if I've mentioned this, but I'm also considering maybe moving up, guys, to an electric snowblower. They have a 2-stage dual battery snowblower that's coming out, or actually it's already out, sorry, but obviously it's summer, so there's none in the showrooms right now. But it's also something else, guys, I'm thinking about getting. But anyways, guys, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and enjoy the pics.